Liberty football finishes the regular season and shifts its focus to a new era on the mountain. Plus, senior Javon Scruggs weighs in on his illustrious career.
And the powerful story of where running has taken former Flame Sam Chelanga. All the latest news coming your way. You're watching Flame Central.
It's been a wild week for Liberty Flames athletics, and we're here to talk about it. Welcome into Flame Central alongside Emily Austin. I'm Matt Warner.
A new coach on the horizon, a big basketball milestone. You're right, Matt. So much to talk about on today's show. But first, we have to begin with the regular season final for Flames football.
Yeah, Liberty wrapping up the regular season, knowing that they were already secured a fourth straight bowl game appearance. The Flames taking on New Mexico State. Liberty would fall behind in this one, 7-0, but then Charlie Brewer, getting his first meaningful snap since the season opener, would lead Liberty to a game-tying score. Eventually, it would be T.J. Green punching it in from a yard out, and that would even the game at 7 apiece. Unfortunately, that would be as good as it got for the Flames on this day. The Aggies scored the next 42 points before Liberty finally tacked on a late touchdown. 49-14 the final. The regular season for the Flames ends with an 8-4 record.
Well, following that disappointing finish to the regular season, Hugh Freeze took the head coaching job at Auburn University. Freeze compiled a 34-15 record over his 4 years on the mountain, and he also led the Flames to 4 consecutive bowl seasons. With that, athletics director Ian McCaw is now on the search for the 10th head football coach in program history.
We're considering both internal and external candidates at this time, and again, we've had tremendous expression of interest in this job, and again, that's a credit to Coach Freeze and the staff and our players. This job is so much different than it was 4 years ago. We're getting tremendous interest from around the country from very qualified coaches, and again, what's really the key differentiator for us is we have to have someone who really fits Liberty.
Here at Flame Central, we have no doubt that Ian McCaw, who is well prepared and experienced, is the perfect AD to have to make the right choice on the next head coach to represent this university and to lead this football program to greater heights. There's also a guy that we need to talk about around campus who has a hot take about how special this job is at Liberty. And he talked about it on our Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. Joe Yock, take it away.
The best thing about this job is 2 things. One, first and foremost, Liberty University and all that Liberty University has to offer. And I mean that on a national level, not just a local level. Their recruiting footprint can be national, right? And I'm talking 4 or 5-star players. You bring Christian moms and dads who've raised their kids in the church, and you're saying, we're going to leave our son and trust your son to you for the next 4 years. How are you going to continue to develop my son into a man, the way that we have for the past 18 years? This is the place that you can confidently say, here's exactly what we're going to do to help your son become a complete man. And so Liberty University, first and foremost, is the most important aspect. The second is Ian McCaw's a great athletic director.
I know.
He brings experience, a confidence, a stability, and he's going to do a fantastic job, whoever that hire is. So, I think this next hire is going to take it to the next level.
Woo! I am fired up about the future of Flames football. Do you want to listen to that entire conversation and stay updated on the coaching search and all things Liberty athletics? Of course you do. And the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage, is what you need. Download and subscribe to it today. Listen wherever you go for your podcast. And we're on YouTube now, too. You can watch Joe Yock embarrass himself with his horrible dance moves.
Yeah, that's always fun. All right, on to more positive football topics. Senior defensive end Darrell Johnson has become a legit All-American candidate this season. Johnson finishes the regular season leading the nation with 22.5 tackles for loss. Woo. That's the second most by a Liberty player ever. His efforts helped the Flames rank number 1 in the nation for team tackles for loss. Flames had a grand total of 109. Johnson and the rest of the Flames will look to add to that number in Liberty's yet-to-be-announced bowl game.
Man, the Flames defense is definitely going to miss Darrell on the field next season, as well as Javon Scruggs, who the team calls the general. When you look up leadership in the dictionary, I'm pretty sure there's a picture of Scruggs next to it. Coaches have said this football program couldn't have accomplished what it did the last 4 years without him. That's some pretty high praise. So, for his final game on the mountain, we spent senior day with the general.
He's the general. I don't know that it really happens without him.
Here comes the pressure, hit and dropped. Javon Scruggs came at him and got him to the ground. Handoff, hit, dropped. Javon Scruggs, the general, the first to arrive on the scene. Fakes that throw into traffic, caught, popped free. That ball was bouncing around, and the Flames come away with the interception. Javon Scruggs gets his hands on it, and Liberty quickly in business.
Me as a freshman, I would have never thought I would come here and had the potential to possibly go win 4 bowl games. I would have never even thought I would have went to a bowl game. As a freshman, I probably didn't even know what a bowl game was, to be real.
Wirtz stepping up. Wirtz is going to take a deep shot downfield, and it is intercepted.
This is just a great job by Scruggs going up and getting that football.
Coming away with the first bowl game in school history. So I would definitely say that first bowl game pick definitely was my favorite player here at Liberty. I've grown a lot on and off the field here as my time with Liberty. It's so much more than football, but so many coaches can get caught up in just teaching you the X's and the O's and not the why factors and the things that actually count for you in life when after football. So a lot of my position coaches, Coach Aldridge, Coach Batoon, Coach Curtis, those guys really coming in and actually teaching me the game of football to make sure I can understand and teach the other guys the game of football too. So I would just credit a lot of that to those guys, man, for growing on and off the field. I've seen this program grow a lot from the FCS stage to the FBS stage.
On a third down, Nakua is dropped. He lost 6. Javon Scruggs, the senior they call the general, was all over that play.
Those Power 5 wins.
If they don't know, now they know.
The SEC wins, the bowl games.
Jefferson to throw. Blitz comes. He's under pressure. He'll go down at the 30-yard line.
Not a lot of people can actually say that their team has transitioned from FCS to go to FBS and start off as strong, as dominant as we did for multiple seasons in a row.
He sneaks up in the pocket, throws over the middle, picked off by the Flames. It's Scruggs. He's in midfield, on his feet, 45-40, near side 30, 25-20, 15, and McCall tackles him at the 10. Javon Scruggs almost ran that one back.
Just having my family just be there for me since I was a little one, all the way through me now, 23 years old, ready to leave college and finish my last game here at Williams Stadium, it really means a lot. Walking out there with my family.
Number 1, Javon Scruggs.
One last time that I can actually say that I'm guaranteed to put pads on other than the bowl game. When I go out there for the coin toss, man, it's going to be so surreal just to go out there and just shake the hands of an opponent across from us on Williams Stadium field for the one last time and just get to go out there and just be a captain with the guys that I'm going to be out there with for that one last time. It will definitely have a lot of emotions, but I'm definitely going to have to control those emotions throughout the 60 minutes of the game on Saturday.
Pavia always a threat to run. Looking downfield, fires, connects across the 50, ball pops free. Trayshawn Clark falls on it. It looks like the Flames have it, and they do. This Flames defense forcing another turnover. It's 23rd of the year, and I think that was the senior, the general, Javon Scruggs, that may have popped it out.
Yeah, he made a fantastic play on this ball. You'll see right here.
Just soaking up all the last-minute moments with the guys and just letting them know that I love them and just feeling the love from each other and giving the love back too, man. When I want my legacy to be known as that man came to work every day. He was honest, he was trustworthy, and he was dependable.
Gotta love the general. I caught up with him before the game on Saturday. His last game on the mountain, he was pretty emotional. Pre-game, he goes end zone to end zone. He was soaking it all in. Didn't end well, but I have a feeling he's going to rally this team together for that bowl game.
Yeah, I think so too. You talk about natural leadership. This kid was a high school quarterback that led his team to multiple state championships. Yeah. He is an absolute great leader. He's been fantastic since he arrived here on the mountain. And as you said, I'm guessing he's going to have that defense ready to go in the bowl game.
Right. Might see him on the sidelines in the future coaching. You never know. All right, let's take a little break from football, Matt. Let's head over to the hardwood and focus on some hoops. That transition isn't too hard when you get to talk about one of the best shooters in the nation week in and week out. Yes, Darius McGhee is in the headlines again. He was named the ASUN Player of the Week for the 6th time in his career, but, Matt, that's not what we're talking about here. The guard eclipsed the 2,000-point mark In Liberty's win over Delaware State on Saturday, guess how he did it, Matt?
Tell me.
Yep, a three-pointer,
Shocker.
typical McGhee fashion. He's the fourth player in program history and the fifth active player in Division I men's basketball to reach the milestone.
Congrats to Darius. All right, when Liberty Volleyball lost in the ASUN Championship Final, you might have thought their season was over. Think again! It was announced this past week that Liberty will play in the NIVC, basically the NIT of volleyball. But not only will the Lady Flames play in it, they'll also host the first two rounds at Liberty Arena. It's a great opportunity for this team that finished 23-8 to get some more time on the court together as they expect to bring back almost everyone next season. They should be good again. We turn to women's hoops now. Last week, while we were shooting a fun Christmas piece with the ladies that you'll see in the near future, I asked Maya Berkman what was the best Christmas gift she'd ever received. Her answer? Her last name. You see, a couple of years back, she changed her name from McMillan to Berkman. Here's the story behind that change and the people she now calls family.
Markova feeds Berkman, finishes strong through the contact.
When you see Maya Berkman on the court, a dominant force in the paint, and a season that has her on the cusp of setting a program record, it's hard to fathom that her childhood was as painful as it was.
I was basically CPS, Child Protective Services, was in my life the entire time. And my mom would finesse her way to not having us taken away.
While Maya was still at a young age, her mother would remarry. But shortly after the wedding, her stepdad would begin an abusive pattern towards her mother.
When I was young, I just didn't understand. Sometimes I would blame my mom, what are you doing? Why are you making him change like this? This doesn't make sense. He was fine before.
The abuse would take its toll, leading her mom down a dark path.
No one deserves to be abused at all. Throughout her experience, she became abusive to alcohol, pills, painkillers. So it was just really hard to see her just go from being this independent woman who didn't need anyone to someone who depends on everyone, and even her own children had to take care of her at times.
Not only would Maya have to care for her mother, but also her younger sister, Aaliyah.
I basically raised her when she was young because my mom would go all over the place and do drugs and stuff, so sometimes I even had to stay home from school.
Her mother's actions finally had Aaliyah taken away.
Police storm in and just take her. It was really, really heartbreaking. And the fact that I just didn't know what was happening, because they wouldn't answer any questions and everything. So it was a really hard experience just because that's how it happened. It was she literally 1 second was there and then she just left.
Maya would continue to navigate her way through trial after trial until one afternoon in high school, Child Protective Services had made up their mind.
I was coming back from practice and then my phone was blowing up Maya, you can't go home, don't go home. And I was just so confused. I was okay, and I was trying to read the messages before more popped up. And then I realized that CPS was called and they finally had enough to take us away.
Which led to a phone call with Maya's high school basketball coach, John Berkman, who faced a decision, along with his wife, they never expected.
The CPS office had called me and said, hey, we understand that the sisters want to stay together, but we don't have anybody in the area that would be willing to take both of them at the same time. I remember them asking, would you and your wife maybe consider that? And I remember being taken aback because I was driving in my truck, I think, when they called, but I remember thinking, well, that's not something we've ever discussed. So I told them I would have to discuss that with my wife. I remember thinking, who else would take them? And that was heavy on my heart, and I know it was heavy on her heart. And I know that a lot of that had to do with the Lord preparing us.
The Lord would lead them to take in Aaliyah and Maya, which would be a huge change to the way Maya was used to living.
It was just a different experience because they have so many rules. They have like families should, they have curfew and you plug your phone up at night in the kitchen.
Despite the fact she was in a stable environment, it still took quite some time for her to feel at home with the Berkmans.
It was well into the next year before she fully felt okay, this is a permanent thing, and they're not kicking me out or they're not moving on.
We wanted Maya to be in the driver's seat with all those decisions. And I think for her, it was kind of I'm cautious, be cautious in the waters here.
Finally, she would feel at peace, especially with John on the basketball court.
There was a change that next year in basketball. It was no longer coach, it was dad.
He would just answer and respond, and I'd be like, Dad, who am I guarding? He'll just be like, 32. I was like, okay, thanks. I loved it.
Maya finally had what she longed for, a stable home environment with her little sister. This past summer, Maya made the decision to take on her new family's last name, legally becoming a Berkman, a gesture of the deep love she has for her family.
They saved my life. Yeah, like, I don't think I would be here right now. I love them forever for it.
Coming up, he's known as a Liberty track and field legend, but see how Sam Chelanga is now serving his country in the Army.
Plus, Rhett McGibbon joins us for the best performances of the past week. It's Warm, Hot, and Fuego, and it's coming at you next.
So you're looking for a university that has anything you could possibly need.
Anything?
You want a place that has the programs you want to study.
I think I'm going to sign up for the fashion design program.
All right. A place with state-of-the-art facilities.
And who doesn't love big-time sports?
Somewhere you can hike, slide, climb, and most importantly, eat. And all that with a great view? Yeah, I think I know a place.
Welcome to Liberty University's online programs, where living out your calling with integrity is what you train to do. And getting ready for the future doesn't mean missing out on the now. Because a university is more than buildings and books. And an education should set you free, not fence you in. Welcome to Liberty's global campus, where distance learning was pioneered and evolved into one of the top-ranked schools in the nation. Where protecting your budget, your time, and your education isn't just a theory, it's our priority. Here, degrees in your field reflect industry demands and help you get ahead of the competition. Where college comes to you, but you can come to college too. Game day, homecoming, graduation day. Your school, your values, your experience, your choice. Welcome to Liberty University, where we train champions for Christ.
On this mountain stands a legacy. 50 years of miracles, of mountaintop moments. One mission from the start, training champions for Christ. On this mountain, our flames burn brightly. We have a culture of academic excellence, unified in Christ and authentic community. Though we come from different paths and places, the same fire burns in all of us. And 125,000 strong, we cheer each other on around the stadium and around the world. On this mountain, our intensity lights up the night. We coach forward, push onward, honoring Christ in every sphere of our lives. We serve, give, and volunteer, grateful for all that we have been given. For 50 years, Liberty University has stood united in our mission. On this mountain, we train champions for Christ.
Challenges, they're nothing new. At Liberty, we know they make you stronger, force you to learn, adapt, to overcome. When your next challenge comes, be ready. Meet it with a degree that propels you forward. We've helped champions like you succeed for 35 years and counting. And now, over 100,000 students are getting stronger every day. At Liberty University, challenges make champions. Let's overcome together.
Welcome back to Flame Central. Sam Chelanga. You may remember the name from his overwhelming success with Liberty cross country and track and field. He's basically a legend with the program. Today, running is still his passion, but training looks much different because when Sam discovered his new calling, he ran toward it at full speed.
I tell people I'm not special. Everybody has the greatness inside of them. All you need to do is find that vibe. And I think God is that vibe. You just gotta follow His will, and He'll take you where you need to go.
Sam Chelanga has been running for most of his life.
To be honest with you, I love running.
Born in Kenya, his gift as a runner brought him to the U.S., where Sam ran his way into the record books at Liberty University.
Chelanga holding on well here.
It was there he won 4 Division I national titles and 9 conference titles.
Sam Chelanga is now a national champion.
After graduating, he became a naturalized U.S. citizen and ran professionally for Nike. But at the height of his career, Sam changed course and quit running.
I was done. I retired.
And enlisted in the U.S. Army.
I'm proud to be American, and I'm truly blessed to be here, and I see the opportunities, and so it's been something that I wanted to give something back.
First Lieutenant Sam Chelanga is now a logistics officer and commands a platoon of soldiers that depend on his leadership.
It's a big responsibility, and it's real. I don't want to say out there in my job as a runner was not real. It was real. Idealistically, it's something that we know we do for entertainment.
Stay behind, boys, stay behind.
There's a lot at stake here. You know, our families, our freedom, everything. So that's something, every day you go, you have that on your shoulders. I mean, I think about all those things. I want to make the best decisions for my guys at every level, the best I can. Look, we could deploy tomorrow. We know a lot of people that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. And every day we go to training, I'm not just training because it's just like a workout. We have to do everything we can to make sure that we are ready, and at the same time, make sure we defend our country.
The transition from full-time runner to full-time soldier wasn't easy, and early on, Sam had his doubts.
Am I an idiot for leaving my nice job to go do this? But honestly, it's been 4 years, almost 5 since I did that, and I'll tell you this. I'm super thankful. It was the best decision I've ever made.
But one day, in the middle of all the training exercises and briefings, Sam felt a calling to do something he once gave up.
It just happened that I'm good at it, so it brought me back.
Sam started running again, competitively, this time under the U.S. Army's World-Class Athlete Program. A program that allows elite soldier athletes to train and compete with the hopes of representing the U.S. around the world.
Our main goal is to try and make the World Championship and the Olympic team. That's our goal.
Sam now splits his time between training for the race and training for battle.
It's been everything. If my family weren't on board, I wouldn't do it. Faith has been everything to me. Half of the time, I don't even know what's going on. Like if I knew 20% of what I was doing to the T, and then I'll be like a different man. But no, I don't know, so I go by faith. But one thing that I do know is I believe that God never wanted me or anybody else to settle. He wants to always keep challenging us. I look at my journey and I was like, hey, if he can bring me this far, I'm sure everybody else can go this far.
Sam Chelanga, he's gonna break the tape.
I didn't know where America was. And look, I came here and I find a purpose in a totally different country.
He shatters the course record.
You don't need to know where you go. God is real, he will guide you. I'm gonna keep going until God says no.
Boy, Sam's such a great representative for Liberty University. It's been great getting to know him over the years. All right, Rhett McGibbon joins us as he does each and every week. It's time for Warm, Hot, and Fuego, top player moment from the past week in Liberty athletics. We're just recognizing some greatness.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the theme.
That
this
the theme?
Week. Yes,
greatness?
It is greatness.
That's why we're
exactly.
All right, Warm, Rhett. Let's start with Warm.
I want to talk about the football seniors. You know, you see everything they do on the field, the big games that they've won, but I think outside of that, the big picture, what they've done for not only Liberty football, but the fan base. You know, 20 years from now, you're going to look back on this group that took Liberty football from FCS to FBS and be like, wow, they were really the foundation. You talked about Scruggs, you talked about Johnson, so many more of them. And I think it really took the fan base from being like, oh man, we're happy to be here when you take on an ACC opponent or an SEC opponent. All of a sudden you're thinking, we should be in this game and we should win. Like you legitimately disappointed when you lose to Virginia Tech a couple weeks ago. You go back 4 years, are you feeling that way? No, you're like, you're honestly just happy to be on the field. So you really can't put, you know, a value on that, but it is huge. The belief that they've given this program is tremendous.
No doubt, and you know, multiple times in the top 25.
Yeah.
You know, they've taken this program to heights people didn't think they could reach as quickly as they reached.
Yeah,
them.
4 years, crazy.
All right, from warm we go to hot.
Yeah, Maya Berkman joining the 1,000 point club on women's basketball. You know, I think back to when she came as a freshman, and I was thinking, okay, you got a big here. I see the talent. Didn't really like contact at that time. The development and growth that she's had, not only as a basketball player, but as a leader on this team, again, it's unfathomable. You look at it, you're like, wow, she's come so far, and now she's in there in the trenches. You know, she scored 26. She gets 1,000. She's banging in there, right? They're double teaming her. She's just flicking flies off her back. Like, it's crazy to watch. 20th player to do so, and so happy to see where she's coming. You know, this women's team starting to gel. You played 3 really tough teams in a row. You're starting to come together. I still think they're going to be in good shape ASUN play.
Maya, just the latest in a great line of Liberty bigs on the women's side. All right, finally in Fuego. Who's in Fuego this week?
Yeah, it's Darius McGhee. Whenever you hit 2,000 points, somebody's going to be talking about you. Did it in typical McGhee fashion. You know, 5th straight 20-plus game, though. That's one thing. Like, the consistency this season, and I think just ball control is huge. You bring in a guy like Porter that facilitates for McGhee. There's a lot less pressure on his shoulders this year to bring the ball up the court, and I think he's just going to continue to explode. And I know it's been a little bit up and down for basketball so far this season, but again, you've got a lot of new bodies on the court, and you're trying to find out how the system exactly is going to gel together. And I think with McGhee and Porter and other guys like Cleveland, when they fit into their roles, there's still some time before you hit conference play. Watch out. I think this basketball team has the potential to really take off.
Yeah, you don't want to peak too early.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to peak when it matters most, and they're heading that direction. Rhett, great job as always. All right, still to come. Some are calling it a comeback for the ages. Emily's calling it something else. We bring you a Flames Fantasy League update. Don't go anywhere.
Does education mean a room with 4 walls, a desk, and a PowerPoint lecture?
Or is it something bigger?
What if it's the people beside you, 1 chair away or 1 ocean away?
What if it's the chance to learn from your mistakes, as well as your victories?
And the push to keep going either way.
What if it's the freedom to reach for bigger things without missing the little ones in between?
For each of us, education looks a bit different.
Because we're each a bit different.
But at Liberty, we think education might just mean something big enough for all of us. That's Liberty to us.
What will Liberty be to you?
Hey, welcome back to the show.
Nope, we're out of time. We're out of time.
Can I tell you a story?
We're out of time. Sure.
All right. When I was a young man playing sports at a ridiculously high level,
kickball,
a coach once told me, it's not over until it's over. I took those wise words, and I led my team to victory that day.
I'm sure you did. All right, let's bring it back to the 21st century. Matt is right. It's not over until it's over, so don't pay too much attention to these numbers you're about to see in our Flames Fantasy League. It's basically fantasy football with Flames players.
Right. All year long, we've been competing. Joe, Yock, Emily, and myself. Emily had been leading all year long. Oh, she's running away with it. Oh, she's got it locked up. Not so fast, my friends. Joe Yock has surged in front. Had a huge week, 37.7 points, and he is now your leader with the bowl game remaining.
Still a bowl game. Yeah. Matt is still in last place.
Still have a shot. All right, hey, don't forget libertyflamecentral.com for any stories you might have missed.
Flame Central Podcast, download it today. For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you next time.